we receive a will from outside, often the conscious mind is just justifying why we want the will. We get the urge, I want to play piano, and the conscious mind is like, yeah, because it's good to play music, and because it makes me feel good, and it's good for the world, and art's good. You know, the conscious mind often acts, you know, we act as though it's inventing this idea, and all it really is giving a pass to the idea, or being inhibited and not giving a pass to it. To me, that doesn't mean it's not a will. I don't think the will has to be conscious. It just has to be that there are choices. But then some of the will is conscious because this influence of the conscious mind is profound. You really can change your actions. The will can come along and you can deny it. The will can come along more often than denying it. You know, you'll modify how the will sees the world by informing it of a broader perspective. You know, the built-in wills like hunger are harder to inform, but you can, you know, but you can still do it. It's maybe impossible to fully deny a will. In a way, I think almost every willful moment is going to come to some action. And when you really just try to inhibit and stop it, it's going to come out some other way. It's too much pressure to hold inside your mind. So it's much more healthy to process these wills and you know, like if you have a will that isn't constructive to you. Like one time I had a problem with a person, more than once. And you know, I just find myself thinking about it over and over, and to the point where I realize, listen, I don't have anything more to learn about this. You know, and you can take that energy and put it on something else. I just said, hey, listen, every time I think about so-and-so and what the problem is with them, I'm going to work on this project of something I need to get done for my daughter. And that worked. You know, it's like that came along, that I used as a trigger to remind me I had this other issue that I really could make progress on, and I just transferred the energy over. And it was easily done. So the conscious mind does have a role in the will, in directing it. It's like the will comes along as the energy flow, and the conscious mind is the system of dams and levees and aqueducts that you can use to redirect the will. But there's limits to it. You know, you can't make the water flow uphill, but you can direct how it flows downhill. So yeah, I hope that clarifies a little bit my position on the will. And actually, even some of these people that are doubting the will, I would really love if they would consider my idea, you know, just for the sake of argument, tell me what they think, and see if it affects, I mean, their doubt for the will. I mean, I think some people's doubt for the will might be that they've noticed that, hey, you know, these thoughts are coming unbidden to me, and they are the result of my desires and urges and experience. And then they're concluding, oh, it must just not be me that's willing. Or will is an illusion. And I think that you need to get at a bigger picture. Just because the will is not like our folk wisdom has said that it was, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means it's in a different form than we thought. And that's why I like to pursue the question of will from the point of view of will exists. We know the phenomena of will exists. So we just have to explain that phenomena. And when we explain that phenomena, the explanation will be a definition and explanation of will. And if we get to that point, and it turns out it's not at all, there's no freedom at all in it, you know, there's no willpower at all involved, well, fine, that's how we find it out, is through this process of accepting the phenomena exists, explaining the phenomena, and then if we see that the explanation shows that it's sort of inherently an illusion, you know, that's when we take that into account. But I don't think we'll find out that it's an illusion. I think that we'll find out it's a cognitive process of a network of living cells, and that it's nothing like the will from the folk wisdom of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years of dealing with the question of will as living creatures. And you know, that to some people might mean, well, there is no will, because they're not going to give up their definition of will. They're just going to say, hey, that whole definition doesn't apply. And there could be a new word, but I'll call the phenomena of will, however its explanation turns out, because it'll still relate to this macroscopic phenomena of will. Cheers.